Hugh Jackman copied me. In fact, Hugh, I should have been the Wolverine. I wrestled Ric Flair,
Right.
and then I got to go over on Rick, and with Jamal and Rosie, they were the meat and the muscle, and I was the brains. Because I didn't know I was going to be the stylist. I just flew me to Canada and said, "You're Bill and Chuck stylist." And I went, "Stylist? What? Foot stylist? Hair stylist? What kind of stylist?" Vince goes, "Flesh it out." Well, Vince brought Eric to the arena in the full makeup and acted like he was the actual minister. They kayfabed everybody.
You recently made an appearance on AEW. What was it like being in front of the crowd like that for the first time in a while?
I was really nervous.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Rewind Recap Relive. I am here with Rico Constantino, the one and only Stylin. As always, look at him. How you doing, Rico?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. When's the last time you came to a big convention like this? I heard you said it'd been a while.
This is my first convention
Ever.
After WWE. I've done a couple autograph signings, and RVD, Tommy Dreamer, Rikishi told me to get into the circuit.
Yeah.
And I thought so much time had gone by that the fans would forget.
Yeah.
And this is my first convention, and I didn't hear one person say, "Who are you?" And funny thing is, what I'm wearing today is all ring worn. I wore this in the ring.
Do you remember specifically like when you went with this exact style? Because this is, I feel like you'd remember getting an outfit like this.
Oh yeah, I came out first with it because I didn't know I was going to be the stylist. I just flew me to Canada and said, "You're Bill and Chuck stylist." And I went, "Stylist? What? Foot stylist? Hair stylist? What kind of stylist?" Vince goes, "Flesh it out," and walked away. So I came out the first couple weeks black on black. And Stevie Richard, after he left Right to Censor, was black on black.
Right.
So I didn't want to copy that. And I just started growing the sideburns. So I was thinking, and I did most of my thinking in a tanning bed. You know, the 30-minute beds.
Yeah.
So I was,
to think.
yeah, and I was going stylist. And it hit me. I'm going to be an image consultant. And I said, from New York. And then I called Godfather right away.
Oh, of course. And so he put you on to like...
He put me on to where he bought his stuff.
That is so cool.
So I went to this place. I got an alligator suit, snakeskin suit, this tiger suit, a velvet suit coat, tiger. And I just grew the sideburns out, and I just went ahead with that image consultant thing. And then I would... somebody didn't know. Wow. He needs a suplex.
He did badly, yeah.
Suplex. I'm gonna get an in-ring flashback.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you said you were growing the sideburns out at that time. Who was the first person to see this? Because these are pretty incredible. Like, what were some of the remarks you were getting at having these sideburns to the back?
Well, Raven actually is the one, I was still doing dark matches prior to me getting called up. And one night I was a heel, one night I was a face, depending who I was wrestling.
Yeah.
And Raven came up to me and goes, "What do you like to be, heel or face?" I said, "I like being a heel." He goes, "You got to do something about your face." I said, "What?" He goes, "You're too pretty." He goes, "Grow some sideburns." Now, he was thinking honky tonk.
Right, big mutton chop.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, that's already been done." And then he wanted me to go to the corporate rock sideburns.
Yeah.
And I said, "I have to be original. I got to be real." So I grew these out. And then shortly after I grew them out, X-Men came out in 2000.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wolverine, yeah, but I did it first. Hugh Jackman copied me. In fact, Hugh, I should have been the Wolverine. You see that?
Jeez.
Okay, and I'm 63.
Talk about staying in conditioning and shape at 63, because this is amazing. Have you just always looked like this, or was there a point where it went down and you had to
I was sick from 2016 to 2019. I almost died a couple times. I had blood clots, one in each lung, and that made me retire from law enforcement.
Okay.
So I was sick for 3 years, bedridden, and then a friend named Scott Adams got in touch with me, and he put me into vegan and the juice diet. And I went on a 60-day juice diet. I made all the juice myself, and I was 274 pounds, 48-inch waist. That's how sick I got. And in 60 days, I lost 62 pounds. I was down to 212. And by July, from January to July, I was well enough to go back and get a job.
That's amazing. And what are you doing now? What's the job?
I just resigned from a job in Las Vegas because I recently moved to Arizona.
Nice.
And so after this convention, I'm going to go apply for a job. But
In Arizona?
in Arizona, yeah. So I was an insurance investigator in Las Vegas for Bell United.
Okay.
And I did the same thing as I did as a cop, except I didn't make arrests or write tickets. But I did accident investigations, vehicle recovery, people who stole from the company.
Yeah.
I did all that for this company. And I did that for 3.5 years.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see where you wind up next. I want to take it back to some of the people you were managing. First, 3-minute warning.
Yes.
That was so cool to see you in there with them. Can you take us back to that experience and what it was like being in there with Rosie?
Oh, it was great. And it was right after the wedding,
Yeah.
the Billy and
Which
Chuck
I want to
wedding.
hear about too.
Oh, yeah. I guess I was told that 3-minute warning was losing a little heat. And that's why they brought me in for Billy and Chuck, is to get the heat. So with the stylist, it got them all the heat.
Yeah.
So then after the SmackDown and all that, went to Raw. And then I wrestled Ric Flair.
Right.
And then I got to go over on Rick.
Which is amazing. I think he's right over there.
Yeah,
right?
oh, he let me know. I saw him.
He saw
He goes, Rico, do you know I just did a job for this guy? And he has not forgotten me.
That's amazing.
But it was a highlight of my career.
That's great.
And then they put me in with 3-minute warning.
Yes.
And with Jamal and Rosie, they were the meat and the muscle, and I was the brains behind it. And you know, and we were Bischoff's henchmen.
Yeah, and aesthetically it was so good. Like they were always so flashy, and you at the time, like it was a great combination. That wedding with Billy and Chuck,
Oh yeah.
so iconic. I've heard people didn't know who Eric Bishop was actually under there. Can you take us back to that night?
Yeah, we figured it out. Well, Vince brought Eric to the arena in the full makeup and acted like he was the actual minister. They kayfabed everybody.
Amazing.
Nobody knew except the people in the segment. Nobody else knew it. And Vince, in the catering room, went and got a plate of food and brought it to the minister, walked him around the arena, introduced him as the minister to everybody. And
Did
nobody.
you know? You were involved in it. Did you know?
Oh yeah, I knew.
Okay, you knew.
Everybody that was involved with the wedding
Okay.
knew, but nobody else did. Kayfabe the boys, everybody. And then when he said, "Wait a minute, did I hear myself say 3 minutes?" And everybody in the audience went, "Oh!" It was like a vacuum in the arena. My ears popped, and then he started tearing stuff off, and it was like everybody was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Now, if that would have been on Raw instead of SmackDown, because the dirt sheets got a hold of it on Tuesday,
Yeah.
SmackDown aired on Thursday, so the audience, people who read the Observer or stuff like that, knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But that would have been the best kayfabe since the double referee with Hogan.
Yeah, exactly. And oh my God, I love to think about the fans that didn't read the Observer back then. Though,
Oh,
their
yeah.
minds being blown in the crowd. That's amazing. One last thing, you recently made an appearance on AEW.
Yes, I
It
did.
was so cool. So this is your first convention, but what was it like being in front of the crowd like that? You were the first time in a while.
I was really nervous,
You were, yeah.
really nervous because I hadn't been in the ring in 20 years. And I went there and it was a big secret. So when I got off the plane, I had a hat, a hoodie, because I had the sideburns and everything. And Mason said, "You want to go to the hotel or the arena?" I said, "Take us straight to the arena. I don't want to be seen." And I stayed in the back the whole time until Rico, and then I turned around.
Pop was
Oh, yeah, I heard it
in the back.
in the back when they played the pre-tape. And the only thing that kind of disappointed me is I thought of a pre-tape against Billy,
Yeah.
you know, because not everybody knew Billy and I had a connection except for the old school fans. And the promo was, you know, Billy and the Acclaim were getting on MXMs,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden I yell, "Enough of this!" And then all of a sudden they part, and here I come, and then I'm staring face to face with Billy Gunn. and then he was going to say something, and I'd say something back, and then he was going to slap me, and then I'd stand and go, "Who do you think you are, Will Smith?" And then I go back on him.
Yeah.
And I said I was going to go back and forth, and then I'll see you in the ring, and then when I was going to start the turn and go, "Oh, Billy, one more thing. I'm not Chris Rock." Boom with the kick. He hit him with the kick, and that would have made more sense. No, they downed it. That was my idea to get to the match.
Yeah.
So since they didn't let us do that, Billy on the way to the ring cut the promo without letting him know, "Hey, you're the guy that almost made me marry another guy." And the old people picked up on it, and it tried to bring in, the younger audience.
Right.
But I think if they'd have done the promo that I just said,
It would have been incredible.
Yeah.
It would have connected so many people's memories from back then.
yeah,
And the current with MXM.
yep.
I wish. It was so cool to see you pop up the. Let's wait for this wave to play. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. Great to have you on, though. Good luck, of course, your podcast. You want to talk about that?
Yes.
Stylin with Rico Constantino?
Yeah, it's on the Victoire Network. I've been going about 23 weeks, got 23 shows. It's called Stylin with Rico Constantino. And we talk wrestling, talk men's, women's health, and current events. We don't do politics because, no, we talk about what's like the news, or if we have a guest on, we go into their story. Like I had Kenny Bolin on last week, and a lot of people know Kenny the Star Maker Bolin, and they don't know Kenny and what he does now. And he has a charity that he helps all the Filipinos.
I've heard,
And he just got his tax exempt, so now he's a nonprofit organization.
Oh, wow.
And I've known Kenny 26 years, and he sends me the receipts. Just
So it's real, yeah.
So I know he is sending the money to the Philippines. So a lot of trolls and people who just
He's got
doubt
a lot,
him.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, he
polarizing
doesn't.
Guy, for sure.
Yeah. But I let him explain it on my show last week. It's this week's episode. And take a look at it and know the real Kenny Bolin. He is the star maker, but he made a lot of stars. I think he has over 50 people he's represented have gone through Bolin services that made it to the roster.
So cool.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's done a service. I know when he's on Cafe, he talks, obviously, John Cena, Batista, all that.
Yep.
Yeah. So the stars that he's made, a lot of people don't even realize, for sure.
No, and
So
some of
check
them are
out-
still there.
Yeah, I know. So definitely check out that episode. Stylin, Rico Constantino, the Victoire Network, right?
Victoire Network.
Thank you so much for your time. This
Thank
is
you for
awesome.
having me.
Absolutely.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.